I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report. Stocks are mixed in afternoon trading, with the Dow surging and hitting an intraday high and surpassing the 52,000 level for the first time on Iran deal optimism. Oil prices are dropping and are now at their lowest level since the earliest days of the war, with West Texas Intermediate crude at around $76 a barrel. Most all of the 11 S&P 500 sectors are higher, with industrials the best performer, while tech is lagging and weighing on the tech-heavy NASDAQ. And shares of Elon Musk's SpaceX are surging 12% and surpassing Amazon in market value, becoming the world's fifth largest company just days after hitting the public markets. And SpaceX has gone shopping and will be buying Cursor parent Anysphere for $60 billion, striking a massive deal for an autonomous coding agent that could help the company catch up with its AI rivals. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is Talk Radio, WZZN.
1819 News.
The University of Alabama Board of Trustees is naming Peter Mueller as their next 30th president of that institution. Mueller has been serving as the interim president at Ohio State University. He will step into this new position this summer after current president Stuart Bell leaves to become the president of the University of Florida. Mueller comes to Alabama with a PhD from UNC Chapel Hill in cell and molecular physiology. He joined the Ohio State University College of Medicine back in 2017, where he most recently served as executive vice president of research, innovation, and knowledge before being tapped as interim president. The official installment ceremony for Mueller will happen in Tuscaloosa on July 21st. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Brian Dawson here, CEO of 1819 News. I'm also the host of 1819 News, the podcast, and we'd love for you to join us by listening to our weekly show on all the top podcast apps, both in audio and video format. At 1819 News, the podcast, we are in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama. Every week, we're having important conversations with guests from across this great state, all with the goal of equipping Alabamians to be in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama with us. New episodes are released weekly. I hope you'll join us.
A search is underway in Lauderdale County for a missing Mississippi man who had a boating incident on Pickwick Lake this past weekend. 61-year-old Lowell Hinton of Corinth fell overboard from his pontoon and never resurfaced. Hinton was not wearing a life vest at the time he went into the waters. Multiple search agencies are on the water looking for Hinton. A statue was unveiled in Lowndes County at the Courthouse Square to honor fallen Sheriff Big John Williams. The tribute to Williams comes after he was shot and killed in the line of duty back in 2019 at a gas station. The statue is life-size and took several years to raise the money and to complete. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This is Talk Radio, WZZN.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back home June 16th through the 21st. Promotions include an adult Hawaiian shirt giveaway on the 16th, a youth soccer jersey giveaway on the 18th, plus barbecue weekend and Father's Day close out the homestand the 19th through the 21st. Get your tickets now and learn more about our weekly promos by visiting tptix.com. That's tptix.com.
Let's rock it. This is Bill Crawford, host of The Point on Talk Radio WZZN. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the Valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
Your Fox 54 update.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Maybe a quick passing shower. Otherwise, temperatures climbing into the lower 80s, dropping into the mid-upper 60s as we head into the overnight. A mostly to partly sunny sky as we head into your Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures once again climbing into the lower 80s. Some of us could see the mid-80s with another opportunity for a passing shower.
Your Fox 54 forecast. Only on Talk Radio WZZN. This is The Point with Bill Crawford. On Talk Radio WZZN, a compassionate, conservative, reasoned voice. Not just for today's headlines, but for issues that matter to you. Perspective from a distinguished career of service in the U.S. Army. Courage from hours in the pilot seat of a military helicopter in war and in peace. Knowledge of cultures from around the world. Experience from a lifetime of service to America. What matters to you, from the dinner table to the halls of power. Conservative, compassionate, reason. That's The Point.
Welcome, fellow Alabama friends, citizens, and patriots on this grand and glorious Tuesday, the 16th of July. It is the day where I hope everybody went out and voted on our runoff election for our
it smells
primaries.
like a runoff election, doesn't it?
It smells like a run.
I love the smell of voting in the morning.
I love the smell.
Smells like victory.
Well, it looked like a runoff, too, when I went and voted this morning because there was nobody there. Walked right in and voted, and the poll workers said that not a lot of people had showed up. And traditionally, that is the case. People just don't show up to vote for a runoff when that's probably more important than the primary.
Yeah, there might have been a couple dozen people total, but I went by around lunchtime over at Lakewood, and it's just nobody shows up for runoffs.
Well, nobody shows up because, especially if your candidate came in second, a lot of people just say, what's the point? The other guy's going to win anyway. So we'll know.
Well, if you don't show up, you will.
If you don't show up, you will. Polls open at 7. They close at 7 p.m. We will know tonight by the 10 o'clock news who is going to be representing Alabama in many, many entities. But I'm going to take a little break from talking about the election for the next few minutes, and I want to talk about another story that is really been kind of dominant in our local news, although it has creeped into national news just a little bit, and that is the story of the geese in the Edgewater area that are wanting to be culled by the Homeowners Association. And I want to mention something because I didn't even think about this till earlier this morning, but I've seen this happen in my life before. And when I was growing up in little old Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, we, like many southern towns, had a town square. And our town square would occasionally just become overwhelmed with pigeons. And what would happen when the town square became overwhelmed with pigeons, and I mean pigeons everywhere, bird droppings all over the benches, all over the courthouse, all over the city, the little businesses in the town square. Our little local radio station, WDXE, would put a notice out that said, hey, y'all, come to the town square this Saturday and bring your shotguns because we're going to get rid of the pigeons. And that's exactly what would happen. Every person in that area, or a whole lot of them at least, that owned a shotgun would show up at the town square at the crack of dawn, and they'd start blasting away at the pigeons. They'd shoot a bunch of pigeons. The pigeons would fly away. They inevitably would come back in a couple of hours, and it would go on over and over and over again and again throughout the day until the town leadership was satisfied that the pigeons were pretty much gone. So I've seen that happen before, and it's certainly not what they're doing in Edgewater, but it is not an uncommon practice in the South.
Didn't you say that they've done this before at Edgewater?
In Edgewater, they have to have a permit to do this. They got a permit in 2020, and I guess nobody really paid attention to it. They culled the herd, and now the herd has came back. So to me, Brian, you and I talked about earlier, that begs the question, okay, if they get rid of 226 geese today and they don't do something different in 6 years, won't they have 226 more they have to get rid of?
Well, I mean, we talk about this, and I'll come back to your pigeon story in a minute. But we talked about how you need to do wildlife management. And in any other group, it would be like, okay, well, we're managing the herd of the deer or whatever. And so they're not endangered in any way. They're obnoxious. Anybody who's spent any time with geese knows they're obnoxious. But I don't think that it's as big a deal. Maybe it just hit the news cycle just right, maybe.
Well, I looked in a little bit into that, and what are some of the other species that are culled, or as they sometimes say, the herd is thinned because they're either overpopulated or they're a nuisance, and the law specifically says a nuisance. One you just alluded to is white-tailed deer. Sometimes that herd gets so overpopulated there's not enough food for them.
Right.
So they tell the hunters, hey, go out, no limit, do whatever you want to do.
Well, I mean, especially, there's pressure on our agriculture with the deer. Because we've run it out, and raccoons too, because I know some of corn and soybean farmers that have, you've got swaths where raccoons went through and just started leaning stalks over and eating corn, and deer too.
Well, you're mentioning a couple of them. White-tailed deer is one. Another one a lot of people don't think of is feral hogs.
Yep.
There are tons of feral hogs in the state of Alabama, and when they run wild and they cause trouble, people are allowed to go out there and just have at it with them.
They don't taste as good as you might think.
No, I've never tasted one.
Don't eat the boar, I'll tell you that.
And the other one is coyotes. There are coyotes all over the place, and sometimes when their herd becomes too big, the people are told they can go out and have as many coyotes as they want to. Sidebar, I was playing golf at Redstone Arsenal on Wednesday at noon. They unleashed the siren to test the tornado siren.
Yeah, it's Wednesday in the Huntsville. Of course, that's how we know.
Well, I'll tell you, I was playing golf with my son out there one day, and I guess that high-pitched siren hurts the ears of the coyotes because it sounded like I was in the middle of thousands of them on either side of the fairway. And my son looked at me and he said, Dad, if I hit a ball in the woods, I'm not going to go get it.
True. I love it when your Lincoln County comes out. Siren.
Yeah. Siren.
Siren.
Well, isn't that how you say it?
Yeah.
And other animals that have been culled, and that's opossums. Good Lord,
Oh, yeah.
You get a bunch of possums, they can just destroy your yard. The other is armadillos. Sometimes when armadillos get on a golf course or a backyard, they can really just start tearing those things up. But in this specific case, where they're wanting to cull the herd, or flock, or whatever you want to call the geese are protected. They're considered non-migratory birds, but nonetheless, they are protected. And in order to do something about that population, they have to have a permit. And a permit can be obtained. It has been obtained before by that specific organization, and they did this in 2026. So the herd can be culled, the geese flock can be thinned out, and I think, let's put it this way. if they were having a problem in Edgewater with armadillos around the lake or possums around the lake, and they said, we're going to hire somebody to come in and exterminate them, you wouldn't hear a word about it.
No, you wouldn't. Now, going back to the pigeon story, those who have been in Huntsville a little while, and this has happened while you were down in Birmingham, Bill, before you got back to Huntsville. Everybody remembers the Walmart on Drake and all the pigeons that would live on top of the sign, and they kept doing things for years to get rid of the pigeons, and they never could. And the only thing that ever got rid of the pigeons at the Walmart on Drake is when they tore it down. and then there was like a summer where the pigeons walking around the empty lot going, what happened? Where'd it go?
Where's my house?
Yeah.
Well, the good story, I guess, about the pigeons in Lawrenceburg, one time I was there watching the old farmers come in and do their thing. One got wounded a little bit. I picked it up. I took it home. I had a little dog house. I put it in the dog house, put a little board over the door. I went in and fed it every day, kind of like Opie the Birdman on Andy Griffin.
Yep.
And one day I took the little bird away, and that pigeon almost knocked me over when it flew out of that door. So I did a good thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you mentioned coyotes. We deal with that a good bit at our place down in Russell County in South Alabama. We deal with that just because they'll get in. Again, it's pressure from people building out further and further. And used to be the little town of Seal was in the middle of absolutely nowhere, especially Sand Fort Road where we were. And now it's creeping further and further out as people move more and more houses from like Phoenix City and Columbus, Georgia down that way. And so the pressure is pushing coyotes in, and there's less places for them to be and less places for them to get food. So they keep looking at eyeballing our cows. And so we have to go through and be mindful of that and make sure that we're discouraging the coyotes from being around on our place.
Well, we don't want to discourage you guys from being around, so we'll take a break and no more talk about the geese unless this story pops up again.
Yeah, coming up next, John Kinsley. He's actually on the phone right now with AUSA. He'll be on the next segment on The Point with Bill Crawford.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Bill Crawford here for the Regenesis Stem Cell Center, the place to go for golfers' elbow pain. Traditional treatments require significant time away from the golf course and often don't work. Dr. Charles Lee can treat golfers' elbow using platelet-rich plasma extracted from the patient's blood and get you back on the golf course after a 2-hour visit. Golfers' elbow can be permanently eliminated for a fixed price of $585. Golf season is here. Enjoy pain-free golf with just one visit to Regenesis.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
When a team sticks together, it shows in the way they work and the way they treat you.
We don't just hire great people, they stay. On average, our managers have been with us over 15 years and company-wide turnover is under 3%.
It's a culture built on integrity and heart.
When you call, you get someone who knows your name, understands your business, and is invested in your success.
And that means service you can count on every time.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Introducing The Golfist, Huntsville's newest, nicest, and only multi-location indoor golf venue. Play over 2,000 courses with state-of-the-art simulator technology, perfect for golfers of all skill levels. For a limited time, grab an unlimited membership for just $99 a month, or book with our grand opening pricing. It's the best value in Huntsville. Check us out at thegolfist.com.
Your home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas is Talk Radio WZZN.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Talk Radio WZZN, and this is The Point with Bill Crawford and producer extraordinaire Brian Temple, with whom we just had a ribald conversation about geese and other animals that are nuisance or too many of them. But now we're going to switch gears completely. Tuesdays on this show, we like to focus on veterans issues, and one person who leads probably one of the most prominent veteran field organizations in town is John Kinsley, who is the president of the local chapter of the Association of the United States Army. John, you with us?
I am, Bill. How are you today?
Oh, man, I couldn't be better. Let me just introduce you to our listeners just for a moment. John spent 27 years in the Army. You retired as a colonel, right?
Yes.
And had 9 operational deployments, commanded all the way up through brigade, which if you don't know what that is, that's a big deal. Spent 6 years working for the Army Material Command right here on Redstone Arsenal. And then he retired from the Army and went to work for IBM Federal and became a board member of AUSA, which led him to his current role as the chapter president. And by the way, we'll get into this in a bit, but the local Association of the United States Army chapter in Huntsville is mighty big. It's probably the largest member-based organization in this town. John now lives in the Huntsville-Madison area. He's been here for 12 years with his wife, Grace, and his 2 sons, Gabriel, and also Forrest Garrison, who is a infantry platoon leader in Hawaii. And John, welcome aboard. How you doing today?
Thank you, Bill. You got all that right.
Well, I try. Sometimes I get it wrong, but sometimes I get it right. Well, AUSA just had a very, very big week with all the Armed Forces Week activities. Tell us some of the highlights of that week and some of the things that you personally participated in.
Yeah, so Armed Forces Week, just as Veterans Day comes around in November every year, November 11th, the city of Huntsville, the Tennessee Valley declares it Heroes Week and Veterans Week. We have Armed Forces Day on the calendar for the nation, and this area makes Armed Forces Week, starting off with a proclamation signing declaring it Armed Forces Week by the mayors of Madison and Huntsville and the county commissioner. Just to make it official for everybody. We at AUSA are involved in several of events in the Armed Forces Week, starting with the Friday before, and where I saw you last week at our Iron Mike Golf outing on the Arsenal.
Which, by the way, let me interject, folks, if you've ever played in a scramble golf tournament, sometimes they can really be scrambled. But I'd have to say this, one that's organized by a bunch of retired colonels and military folks ran without a hitch. It was flawless. Everything went on time, on schedule. And I even won a door prize, a sleeve of golf balls.
It's a fun event. That one with it doesn't matter what your golf skills are because it is a scramble, and we get a lot of support. That one was our largest to date. We've been doing that golf outing for more than 10 years, and the community support, the corporate sponsorship support keeps going up, and that's important because that enables our chapter. That kind of support enables our chapter to support our military, their families, and our military community here through a variety of our own support initiatives and those that may come up through the course of a year that we weren't aware of or were just unforeseen, but a need comes up and people know to come to AUSA.
Well, now, I don't know if you can share this information or if the receipts have even been tallied, but do you know to date how much money that golf tournament raised?
So I do know how much it raised. I'd rather not talk in exact dollars.
That's okay.
Some people start to think that we're bigger than what we are or that we've got more resources than what we need. And that is just never the case with all of the community demands and the things that we'll do.
Well, rather than talking in exact dollars, tell some of the things that AUSA supports with the money that is raised from that golf tournament and other events.
Yeah, absolutely what I want to talk about. So AUSA nationally has a mission to inform, educate, and connect. And we, of course, carry that on down here at our Huntsville Redstone chapter. Inform community members on matters that are concerning the military and defense of the nation. Connect people to the military and educate where we can. And to bring that effort together, there's a lot of support that needs to happen and support that needs to be seen so that people see us as a trusted organization they want to come to be connected, to be informed, and to be educated. So we support the community and we support the military from everything like during a government shutdown. Our military and our civil servants' pay can be impacted. And so we watch and we stay ready for food scarcity in those situations. The last one that happened, we had the summer daycare on Redstone Arsenal had scheduled trips for those kids that parents were still trying to work or do their jobs. The kids were there, but the funding for those events was dropped. So for those military kids on the Arsenal, AUSA was ready to step in and just keep their activities going so they're not, impacted as much by something our politicians kind of inflict on the military community. We support all of the ROTC chapters, junior ROTC chapters. AUSA nationally likes to support recruitment for the Army, likes to support the ROTC programs because they're a component of recruitment and development of the officer corps, future officer corps, and then likes to make sure that they're the voice for talking to Congress about matters impacting the Army because the Army can't do that. So here locally, we have a very large ROTC outreach, and in some cases, annually, we're presenting awards to recognize cadets that have done well, to inspire them and others to stay in the programs. We give out scholarships every year to kids in the community and to Department of the Army civilians looking for advanced education. This year, we doubled the amount of funding for education. So while cost of education rise, we are trying to keep our scholarship efforts increasing to respond to that and make sure that our scholarship efforts are still going to be of value to those spending the time applying and seeking education and looking to AUSA for support there. Other community support, let me just throw in there, we also go to Tut Band Veterans Home twice a month to support those senior veterans that are living at that facility. And by way of trying to help our community, our Veterans Museum, the new museum that opens up down in Hunt Park in January of 2027. Now, this year we were able to provide $100,000 of infusion for all of the internal displays and kiosks and things that they'll have inside that great museum. That's just a chip in the bucket for what they need at that museum, but we think it's a sizable amount of support, and we continue to do activities like the golf tournament there, like our Rocket City Bash in March, and other activities that help us raise funds to be able to take on these things.
Well, now, one thing you mentioned, and I didn't mean to cut in on you there for a second, but sorry about that. But one thing you mentioned was during a government shutdown, the scarcity of food. I had never been tracking that in the armed forces. My son, however, is a captain out on the arsenal. He's a ops officer for one of the larger non-technical units out there. And one of the things he had to do during the government shutdown was reach out to all the other ops officers and S3s, as you and I would call them, and try to get some kind of a handle on what type of shape their troops would be in if the government shut down, if they would need money for food. And that just blew me away, and that furthered my resolve to try to do something to make those things never happen again. But did y'all actually get to the point during that shutdown this time where you actually had to provide food, or was that just a kind of be prepared on order mission?
We did not end up providing financial support to food. We had members working at some of the food, volunteering at some of the food kitchens. We put together an event with Alabama A&M on a Saturday football game to create a military appreciation day during that shutdown, where we did provide hot dogs and hamburgers and things for about 1,000 people that showed up to that Saturday football game that had some kind of military or Department of the Army civilian connection, and came out and got lunch that day. So the ways of support, they can take a lot of different shapes. We stay ready to do it with outstanding members that volunteer their time to help serve food, or if we need to, be ready with financial support to help out.
Well, now, John, one thing I know, in a different career, I was the executive director of a 2,500 company trade association, and one of the things that I found out was very, very germane to your membership in an organization such as the one I was in charge of, and also AUSA, were not only the networking opportunities, but the social opportunities to meet people that have a common background or a common interest. Does our local AUSA chapter provide opportunities such as that?
Many opportunities, Bill. This last weekend, we hosted just under 600 for the Army and the nation's birthday at the Space and Rocket Center. We had what we called the Liberty and Legacy Ball, and it was just a fabulous evening. Like I said, just under 600 people together for that event. We did that at what we would consider, with a little bit of support from community partners again, we worked to keep those tickets as low cost as possible so that attendees will get in there, see their military, hear the stories, meet all kinds of other people there. We do the Rocket City Bash in the middle of the Association of the United States Army's Global Force Symposium. That's at the Von Braun Convention Center in March. And that gets about 700 people brought into it for networking and social fairs there. We are working to get our corporate partners, we call them community partners inside of AUSA, and those, I think, are looking for social connections that create business-to-business opportunities. Let's not kid ourselves. Those are extremely important also. And one of the things we are working to get in the future here is a meaningful breakfast or lunch session with the right leadership present to bring those people together, hear what's going on with some of the programs on the arsenal or some of the future acquisition efforts and those kinds of things.
Well, I know one event that you guys were very key in sponsoring happened last Friday. I went out there to my friend Dale Keel, had the premiere of his, I think, the first 2 episodes of the documentary, Resilience, The Soldier's Rise, I think is the name of it, about his command of 1-5 Cav in Iraq. And weren't y'all, I saw a lot of AUSA shirts out there. I assume y'all were heavily involved.
Well, Dale is our executive vice president. He'll be the chapter president when I give up the title and position for AUSA. And one of the things that he's taken on personally, his unit saw a fair amount of the conflict and the costs of that conflict. And in the years since, they've all been working to get through their stresses, struggles that come with that, like many, many others that have been through years in Iraq and Afghanistan and generations of war fighters before our generation of fights there, my generation. Dale has done a wonderful job of working with a professional film team to help kind of get the background of where that story should go and getting soldiers together to talk the resilience picture, not just the resilience after the fights, after the deployments, but also while in the middle of it. And that's important, right? Our military history has plenty of examples of where things went bad when after a unit got hurt, and the feelings and actions that can take place on that. So resilience is a subject that maybe was important and understood decades ago, but I think it kind of maybe was forgotten a little bit. At least when I was a captain and a major, we weren't talking about it as much, but we sure know a lot more about it and need to talk about it, share those stories and examples, and get our communities, our military, our medical support, get that all lined up for every last one of our veterans that may need a little resilient support.
Well, that documentary, I've had Dale on the show 2 times to talk about it, and we'll continue to have some of the lead characters in that story, and also hope to get his producer there so we can get this promoted as well as can be. But it's worth it. This is a story that needs to be told, and it's being told. Yeah. One of the best I've ever seen. I mean, I hope a major production company like the History Channel or somebody decides to purchase that and use it. But in our final couple of minutes, I would like for you, as the esteemed president, who was in a beautiful gray shark tooth outfit or something, should have been wearing golf clothes last Friday, but that's neither here nor there. And but I know you would have rather been golfing. But as president of the organization, tell our listeners, if they've been on the fence like I was on the fence just because I was lazy. I didn't get around to do it, but I'm a life member now. Tell our listeners who might be contemplating joining an organization like AUSA why they should.
Well, first of all, Bill, membership matters, right? We have just about 500,000 members in our Redstone Huntsville chapter, which goes up a little bit up into Tennessee and down across 2/3 of the state of Alabama, a little bit into Mississippi. That's our boundary. But the numbers matter. So when I need to go when we've got something of interest for the Army or Redstone Arsenal, that I need to have a conversation with an elected official, we get to lead in with, hey, Mr. Senator or Congressman, we've got 500,000 members of this organization that are interested in seeing this outcome turn out correctly. That matters. That gets voices, our voices get heard that way, the larger the membership group is. Membership provides those resources so that we get to continue on scholarship efforts. There's so many nonprofit organizations in Huntsville and across the country that first want to start off with a scholarship effort. But those scholarship efforts become hard to sustain. And so the membership matters when we have more minds and more ideas and more people that have a spirit for volunteering and supporting the military, because that's going to generate more ideas on how to sustain those efforts. It just doesn't happen without it. And so now is a great time to become a lifetime member. When I became a lifetime member about 10 years ago, I think I paid either $400 or $600 for a lifetime membership. And if that was 10 years ago, what do you think the price is today?
A lot less.
The price is $250 for a
you go.
lifetime membership. It's one of the few things out there that have gone down in cost. And that's because they've been doing promotions for the Army's 250th birthday, carried it over for the nation's 250th birthday. So it's a great time to become a member, be a supporter of your nation's military, the sons and daughters of America that will defend our nation, and then learn more about how you can support. When I bring a new board member on, I ask them, what are you interested in? Because it's a volunteer activity. I don't want to assign somebody a responsibility. I want them to say, well, I'm really kind of interested in this, and then figure out how we take that on in the chapter with them being the horsepower behind it. Because in the spirit of volunteerism, there's got to be a want to do it, not just a want to receive. And our members are just incredible. Our board of directors are champs. Some of them have been there 30 years. They've been in Huntsville that long. AUSA has been around since World War II. And so our chapter just continues to stay strong through some very senior volunteers and leaders and an infusion of youth coming up that decides they want to be a part of this too. And we love them all. We need them all.
Well, John, that was great. I couldn't have answered that. That's a perfect answer. But let me do this as we let you go. Let people know how they can connect with AUSA on the internet, which would probably be the best place to start.
Easiest place to access us and to get a membership or start a community partnership is to go right online to ausa.org, O-R-G, ausa.org, and then there's a membership tab there on the home page, and you can pick what kind of membership you want, all the way down to a free membership. Different levels of membership have different privileges and benefits associated with them, but they're all there. Community partners, small businesses, right? Small businesses around our community are plenty, and they're all looking to grow and carry on their business mission. It's a big fee of $175 to be a community partner and then get access to all of the other community partners in our chapter. This year we held a industry, it was for the Army's Transformation and Training Command, T2COM, brand new organization, 4-star headquarters in the Army. They came to Huntsville wanting to talk to industry. They asked if we could get about 200 business members there to speak to. That was the target audience. We showed up with 250 that all got to sit in for free and listen to the 3-star general, deputy commander of T2COM, explain how the Army is going to go after its future acquisitions and procurement. That's very important business information, business intelligence for any business out there, to include the small business interest. So $175 gets you a lot of access to those kinds of connections and opportunities for information.
There you go. Well, hey, folks, that is the president of the local AUSA chapter, John Kinsley. Colonel, sir, thank you for coming. Maybe next year you can hop in my foursome and I can see how well you can hit that little white ball.
I'd love to, Bill. I just got to get a little bit more time myself. But thanks for having me on, Bill. You give us a great opportunity to tell our story and get our message out there to the community, and I appreciate it.
Hey, you're welcome. So let's go ahead, Brian, and take a break. That's Colonel retired John Kinsley, president of our local AUSA 500K Strong.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
This is Bill Crawford, host of The Point on Talk Radio WZZN. I recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Baumhauer's Restaurant, legendary food and legendary fun. Whether you're craving the freshest seafood from Alabama's Gulf Coast, juicy chicken or char-grilled steaks seared to succulent perfection, you're craving Baumhauer's Restaurant. Add to that a sports-themed atmosphere and HD flat screens every place you look. For a sneak peek at the menu, go to baumhauers.com. Legendary food, legendary fun. Baumhauer's Restaurant.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
TLG software team brings you Bamboo HR. Bamboo streamlines everything from hiring to offboarding and eliminating manual HR tasks.
With Bamboo, our customers have saved time, stay organized, and keep employees happier with a seamless HR experience.
This is unique to Huntsville and Birmingham, and I urge you to ask about it.
Just ask anyone.
This is Jen with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Y'all need to come join us. We have so many fun things every night of the week. From Monday night, steak night, Tuesday night, karaoke, Wednesday night, we have Singo Bingo, Thursday night is bike night. Of course, we've got live music on the weekends, so y'all come join us. Meridian Street Crossing, we've got Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Come on next door to the Rocket City Honky Tonk, where we've got honky tonk music all night long. Y'all come join us. We'd love to see you.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Your Fox 54 update.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Maybe a quick passing shower. Otherwise, temperatures climbing into the lower 80s, dropping into the mid-upper 60s as we head into the overnight. A mostly to partly sunny sky as we head into your Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures once again climbing into the lower 80s. Some of us could see the mid-80s with another opportunity for a passing shower.
Your Fox 54 forecast. Only on Talk Radio WZZN.
Welcome back, everybody. That was a very enjoyable conversation we had on Talk Radio WZZN, The Point with Bill Crawford and producer extraordinaire Brian Temple, talking about the Association of the United States Army and how many members it has here. You may think, well, gosh, how can it have so many members? Well, if you're a member of an entity that is a member, such as Redstone Federal Credit Union, you're considered a member also. So it's a pretty good deal, and it works well for Huntsville. And glad we could have Colonel Retired Kinsley come on and talk to us for a minute. Because some other stuff, Brian pointed this out to me, and I checked up on it. And again, lo and behold, he was absolutely correct.
I get one right every now and then.
Yeah, every now and then you nail one. Every now and then I miss one, but that's okay. We pick each other.
Iron sharpens iron, my friend.
Well, one of the sports that really is happening nowadays that a lot of people, especially people in my age bracket, are doing is they're playing pickleball.
Including our fair leader, Wes Neighbors.
Is he a pickleball player?
Yeah, and he also had a pickleball injury.
Well, you know what I was about to say is I have not ever bumped into anybody who over the age of 50 who plays pickleball who hadn't gotten hurt.
Right.
And I didn't know that Wes got hurt on that.
Well, he aggravated an old football injury.
He's probably got a lot of those.
Yes, he does.
Well, out at John Hunt Park, which if you know that's where the old Huntsville Muni Golf Course used to be. Now they have a 60,000 square foot facility, and it's an $18 million facility. That's a pretty big investment for.
Yeah, they got like 20-something courts out there now, right?
Well, they got indoor courts, they got outdoor courts, right. They got 4 they can expand it to 4 basketball gyms or 4 indoor volleyball facilities. It's a nice thing for Huntsville to have, because what's happening out there and what we've seen already is that the outdoor volleyball courts, they're getting many volleyball tournaments coming here.
Yeah.
At the soccer facility, they're getting soccer tournaments for the whole state.
It's really amazing. And thanks to the folks over at the Huntsville Sports Commission, because they have really been looking forward to this. And a lot of work been going on for years now. And just really looking at that infrastructure for sports here. And we're glad we partnered with them for our big awards thing over at 97.7 The Zone. Coming up Monday night, we're at the Mars Music Hall. We're having an awards ceremony for all the great athletes here in around our area. And one of the major sponsors is the Huntsville Sports Commission. And we're really happy to have that.
And, you know, we had them, for our listeners, we had them on the show. They're in the archives.
Yeah.
You can go look them up and hear what they had to say. But they are putting Huntsville on the map as a destination sports city in the state of Alabama and the Southeast. So
there is no surprise that the SEC softball tournament next year is at Toyota Field.
Absolutely. That's where I'll be tonight. So
starting next year.
Hey, we'll take a break. We'll come back and wrap up this first hour, and then we'll come back and have some fun.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Bill Crawford here for the Regenesis Stem Cell Center, the place to go for golfers' elbow pain. Traditional treatments require significant time away from the golf course and often don't work. Dr. Charles Lee can treat golfers' elbow using platelet-rich plasma extracted from the patient's blood and get you back on the golf course after a 2-hour visit. Golfers' elbow can be permanently eliminated for a fixed price of $585. Golf season is here. Enjoy pain-free golf with just one visit to Regenesis.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
Now is your last chance to pay what we paid during the final days of employee pricing at Lynn Layton Ford in Decatur. I'm Bobby White, encouraging you to hurry in and lock in the same deal that our employees get on over 280 available new Fords. New Bronco Sport start at under $28,000. New 25 Broncos starting at under $39,000. Or how about a new 26 Explorer starting at under $36,880? Or 26 F-150 Crew Cab 4x4s, they start at under $44,500. And with your good credit, you can get financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months on a brand new Mach-E. Remember, Lynn Layton Ford will never make you pay any dealer dock fees or ridiculous upcharges. This is an opportunity you can't afford to miss. You pay what we paid during the final days of employee pricing at Lynn Layton Ford, in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or visit us online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com.
When a team sticks together, it shows in the way they work and the way they treat you.
We don't just hire great people, they stay. On average, our managers have been with us over 15 years and company-wide turnover is under 3%.
It's a culture built on integrity and heart.
When you call, you get someone who knows your name, understands your business, and is invested in your success.
And that means service you can count on every time.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up. When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Your home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas is Talk Radio WZZN.
He's still a soldier. His blood runs red, white, and blue.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to go ahead and wrap up this first hour of The Point with Bill Crawford and Brian Temple. You know, folks, I wake up every morning. I usually get up pretty early in the morning, and I usually grab my little dachshund and take him downstairs with me and turn the early news on, because I just want to really find out one thing to start my day, and that is this. Are we still at war or are we not at war? And I watched the news this morning, and for the first time in a long time, I'm kind of hopeful that the war in Iran is actually going to come to an end. Now, it's not going to come to an end overnight on Friday when supposedly the documents are signed, but I think Winston Churchill said something like this: it's not the beginning of the end, but it's the end of the beginning. I don't know if I got that right or not, but I think that's what he said. And I hope this is the end of the beginning of the end of the war, if that makes any sense. So
yeah, it's about time to be done.
It's about time to be done, and then maybe we can do something about the war in Ukraine and get our soldiers out of all this mess, and let's be peaceful for a while.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Sounds great to me, so we're going to go ahead and get out of here.
Got a double dose of Veterans Tuesday coming up with our guest in hour 2.
Jim King.
Jim King. We're still serving veterans will be here. Coming up next hour on The Point with Bill Crawford.
Back in a bit.
This is Talk Radio WZZN.
At the Huntsville Sports Commission, we do sports. The Rocket City is your destination for world-class sports in North Alabama. The Huntsville Sports Commission brings elite tournaments, championships, and other exciting athletic events to our city. From youth leagues to national championships, we're driving tourism, boosting local business, and building a stronger, more active community. When you team up with us, we'll worry about the details so you don't have to. We do sports.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the slick new K5, the sporty Kia Seltos. We've got perfect cars for every lifestyle and budget. Visit universitykia.com to view all our amazing offers and get pre-approved amenities, because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide, War Eagle.
HD 97.7.2, WZZN FM, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Talk Radio, WZZN.
The major averages are mixed in afternoon trading, with the Dow climbing on Iran deal optimism. The Dow has hit an all-time intraday high and surging past the 52,000 level for the first time. Oil prices continue to drop, with West Texas Intermediate crude at around $76 a barrel. The tech-heavy Nasdaq is losing steam as tech stocks falter. The Magnificent Seven big-cap tech stocks are lower, led by Tesla and Nvidia. Industrials and financials are gaining. Shares of Yum Brands are up 2% after the fast food giant agreed to sell Pizza Hut for $2.7 billion and said it plans to use the proceeds to invest in technology and return capital to shareholders. And shares of Elon Musk's SpaceX are surging 9% and surpassing Amazon in market value, becoming the world's 5th largest company just days after hitting the public markets. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
You're probably listening to this in your car, so let me ask you. Would you drive without insurance? Of course not. So why is your retirement portfolio unprotected? Gold is portfolio insurance. It helps de-risk your savings when markets get unpredictable. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands of Americans do exactly that, with no high-pressure sales and thousands of 5-star reviews. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult with your tax or financial professional before making any investment decisions.
This is Talk Radio, WZZN.
1819 News.
Today is primary runoff elections in 1 federal and 2 state races here in Alabama when it comes to the Republican Party. In the lieutenant governor's race, John Wall and Wes Allen are vying for the Republican candidate position for the upcoming November elections. Wall is the former chairman of the Alabama Republican Party. He left that position to run as lieutenant governor, and Wes Allen is the current Secretary of State. In the race to be the next Alabama Attorney General, former Supreme Court Justice Jay Mitchell is going head-to-head with Katherine Robertson, who is currently the lead counsel for Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall. Both are vying within the Republican Party to be that candidate. And in the Senate seat that is being vacated by Republican Tommy Tuberville, in order for him to run in Alabama's governor's race, former U.S. Navy SEAL Jared Hudson and current U.S. Congressman Barry Moore are running against each other. Attorney General Steve Marshall also ran in that Republican primary race, pulling in 24%. Compared to Hudson's 25% and Moore's 39%. Hudson and Moore have been busy campaigning since the primary on May 19th to bring Marshall's voters over to their side in what is going to be a very tight race where voter turnout is going to be very critical. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness License Plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at atease.org.
An alligator had to be removed from a culvert in the city of Pritchard. The gator was measured at 11 feet long. The Alabama Department of Conservation and Natural Resources had to be called in to handle the reptile. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This is Talk Radio, WZZN.
This is Jen with The Haven, a private event space located downtown Huntsville. If you haven't been before, this is the perfect spot for your event. Whether it's Christmas, the holidays, birthdays, weddings, rehearsal dinners, you name it, I can provide that perfect event for you. We tailor everything just for your needs, from food to flowers to the band to drinks. You name it, we've got it. The Haven, located at Meridian Crossings, downtown Huntsville.
Before you build, know the ground beneath you. OMI Incorporated has been North Alabama's trusted name in geotechnical engineering for over 30 years. We provide subsurface investigations, environmental consulting, and construction materials testing to keep your project moving forward with confidence. Commercial, industrial, and public projects, OMI has the experience to get it right. OMI Incorporated. Experience below the surface. Visit omi-eng.com. or call 256-837-7664.
Cummins has kept the world running for more than 100 years. Since their founding in 1919, Cummins has been dedicated to leading the charge towards a future with smarter, cleaner power. Cummins sales and service locations are right where you need them when you need your engine or generator set service. And now, Cummins has a new Huntsville branch. They're located on Highway 31 in Tanner, just north of Calhoun College. Cummins expert technicians will keep you up and running. Call them at 205-808-2210.
This summer, we make HVAC history as Sensagreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation celebrates our country's 250th birthday. Happy birthday, America! In honor of crossing the Delaware River and kicking Cornwallis out of Yorktown, Sensagreen now offers $1,776 off new HVAC systems. Give me liberty and a new HVAC smart system this summer at Sensagreen with Brian. Whatever it takes, just like our founding fathers. USA! USA! USA!
Alabama license number 12705/52808.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Your Fox 54 update.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We drop into the mid-upper 60s as we head into the overnight early Wednesday morning. A partly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the low mid-80s, maybe a passing shower. Better opportunity for rain as we head into your Thursday. Maybe a couple of embedded thunderstorms. Temperatures climbing into the lower 80s.
Your Fox 54 forecast. Only on Talk Radio WZZN. This is The Point with Bill Crawford. On Talk Radio WCZN, a compassionate, conservative, reasoned voice. Not just for today's headlines, but for issues that matter to you. Perspective from a distinguished career of service in the U.S. Army. Courage from hours in the pilot seat of a military helicopter in war and in peace. Knowledge of cultures from around the world. Experience from a lifetime of service to America. What matters to you, from the dinner table to the halls of power. Conservative, compassionate, reason. That's The Point.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Talk Radio WZZN, and this is The Point with Bill Crawford and producer extraordinaire. Well, I can roll that R, man.
Fancy.
That reminds me of my days of speaking Portuguese. But we are glad you're here with us on Talk Radio WZZN. However you may be listening, if you have a phone and the bill is paid, feel free to give us a call. Our bill's paid, 256-382-0724.
3 lines, no waiting.
3 lines, no waiting, and we'd love to hear what you have to say on this, the primary runoff election day. And, you know, Brian, one thing that happened today was my wife and I went out and voted fairly early in the morning.
Yeah.
And
as is your want.
As is my want. I'm an early morning kind of guy, old Army dude.
Yep.
And it just didn't seem like there was anybody there. And I asked the lady at the polling place, I said, how has turnout been today? And she said, well, it's just not been very good. So that set my old noggin to thinking a little bit. And I was wondering how other companies do to make voting more participatory. What kind of things can a country do to make voting more feasible?
Well, we certainly need some ideas.
Well, I'll tell you what, here's quite a few. One, like there are quite a few countries. Costa Rica is the most famous, where when you go vote that day, you are marked on your thumb with some indelible blue ink.
Okay.
And the ink will not wash off in a day. and it has to take a few days to wear off.
Right.
And what happens in Costa Rica is it's a national sign of pride if you're walking around with your blue thumb visible. That means you voted.
Yeah.
Other countries do that too. India, Mexico, Afghanistan, and believe it or not, Iraq. And really, it's not necessarily a national pride type thing. It's just they want to make sure people vote only one time.
Right.
Now, there's other things. I don't know if we'd ever do this, but there are some countries where voting is mandatory. And Australia, as an example, voting is mandatory for most citizens. And if you don't vote, you can incur a fine. And
there you go.
Hey, and turnout.
I don't hate that.
What's that?
I don't hate that.
I don't hate that either. And, turnout in Australia is usually in the high 90%.
Well, and I think if you couple that with getting at least half day off, or your employer has to pay you for the time you go vote, I think that's a win-win.
Well, and that leads right into what some other countries do.
Look at me segue.
A good segue. Make Election Day a national holiday.
I like it.
Which is done already in France, South Korea, and Argentina.
Of course, Americans are lazy. We'll just go on vacation for that.
Well, I don't know. If it's a holiday and you have to vote and you get a fine if you don't, maybe people will do that.
Well, our Congress will just move voting day to Monday so they can have a 3-day weekend.
And another good segue. Because
look at me. I'm on a roll.
You're on a roll. What many countries do, such as France, Germany, and Italy, they have voting on the weekends.
Okay.
So
I don't hate that either.
I don't hate that either. France is on Sunday, Germany is Sunday, and Italy is Sunday. Now, here's one that I think really is one whose time may have come, and that's automatic voter registration, whereby when you get your driver's license, you are automatically registered to vote.
We used to have that.
It's not the case anymore.
The motor voter bill, remember?
Yeah, but it's not the case. Nowadays when you have to get the star, have you got your star ID yet?
No, I'm working on it.
Well, when you get your star ID, you have to produce everything except your firstborn to show the person so you can get your license with your star ID on it. And if you have to have a star ID to get on an airplane and fly, why not have to have a star ID to get in a line and vote?
I see some benefit to that. I really do.
Well, and if you did that, you're automatically registered. There's no question about it. You've got a driver's license. You've got one to present at the voting place, and you have proven that you're a citizen of the United States because trust me, you'll see when you go get your star ID, you are definitely, no doubt about it, you are a citizen in this country when you produce a star ID.
Now, I know we've talked about that one. Is it the SAVE Act or whatever? One of those pieces of legislation has been proposed. And I get that, but there are still some people where travel or getting out to do all that is a barrier to getting that done, and we don't want them shut out from having their vote counted.
Well, I think in this day and age, especially with many of the civic organizations we have and groups we have that can help people, and also political parties who want to get people registered, there ought to be a means where if somebody says, I'm in a wheelchair, or I don't have a car, or I don't have any way to get to a place to get my driver's license, there ought to be help available to do that. So,
well, when I voted in the original primary this year, I actually took my neighbor with me because she is homebound, and she gets around with a walker, and it's just difficult. So it was easier for me to go, and especially since it's like less than a mile from my house. And we just went over there, and me and Miss Ellie went over there, and we voted, and we came back. So I mean, yes, it should be available, but also some of this could be covered just by being a good neighbor or a good civic organization.
Exactly.
In helping with this. I mean, here's the thing. Someone's always going to try to put a hoop to jump through. We just need to band together to help people get through the hoop.
And we need to reduce the amount of hoops and the size of hoop they have to jump for. But
now, I think you should be able to verify that you are U.S. citizens.
Right.
But I think there's something that feels a lot less like papers, please, to do it.
Well, one more thing on that. Again, some of the studies I looked at said, what is the most effective way to get a high voter turnout?
Right.
Number one seems to be a keen sense of the obvious, and that's compulsory voting. You have to vote.
Right.
Number two is automatic voter registration. You know, we've talked a lot about voting, but we've never heard anybody say that's what we ought to do. Number three is weekend or holiday voting, which to me just makes common sense.
Mm-hmm.
And number four is convenient voting processes, which is
Right.
kind of what you're talking about.
Well, yeah. Well, one of the most convenient for a lot of people is absentee ballot and mail-in ballots, and they want to get rid of that.
Well,
even though El Presidente votes by mail-in ballot.
Well, I'm not a big fan of absentee ballots unless you're in the military.
I mean, you have to. And now here's the thing: you have to verify. I mean, I think maybe as much as you would for this other ID law, to be able to get signed up to do absentee ballots. But I think that for people like you could do everybody at Tut Van Veterans Home in a day.
Right.
Have a volunteer group and help them do that, or if they're able to vote. There's other groups that could benefit from something like that. But I think that there needs to be some sort of avenue for that to happen.
Well, I think in this day and age, absentee ballots, put a QR code on every ballot, and then that way when it comes in, it gets scanned, and there's not going to be any chance that QR code could be duplicated, and it's a ballot, one person, one QR code. That's just the way it would go. So my point is this. We talk a lot about having issues with elections, but I haven't heard a whole lot of discussion about what can we do to make it easier and better. But I said, Brian, when you answered the phone, put a QR code on an absentee ballot. That way, one person, one
vote.
Well, yeah, you can't go to a copy service and make 100 ballots and distribute them.
Right, yeah, same thing. I mean, we do that with our zone deals.
Yeah.
They scan a QR code, and then that one, you can't scan it again because it's spent.
That's right.
I mean, the system works. There needs to be something that makes it easier for those who can't get out, and especially when they're screaming fraud, and the fraud is like percentages of 1%. The fraud in America for voting. So,
well, hey, why doesn't somebody call us up and ask us for some solutions? But
I don't know. One person who did call us, Jim King. He's on the line with Still Serving Veterans. We're going to take a break here on The Point with Bill Crawford, and we'll come back. We'll talk to Bill King with some great information for veterans.
Back in a bit.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the Valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
This is Bill Crawford, host of The Point on Talk Radio WZZN. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Hey golfers, Huntsville has a new place to play golf. The newest, nicest, and only multi-location indoor golf venue in Huntsville is The Golfus. For a limited time, you can grab an unlimited membership for just $99 a month. That's right, play every day for just $99 a month. Check it out. All the details are on thegolfus.com. That's The Golfus. 2 locations in Huntsville and coming soon to Madison.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer's satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
This summer, we make HVAC history. River and kicking Cornwallis out of Yorktown, Sensagreen now offers $1,776 off new HVAC systems. Give me liberty and a new HVAC smart system this summer at Sensagreen with Brian. Whatever it takes, just like our founding fathers. USA! USA! USA!
Alabama license number 12705/52808.
WASP Asset Software, delivered by our Next Level software team, helps you track every asset with ease, giving you total visibility over your tools, equipment, and IT assets from everywhere.
With WASP, our customers have reduced loss, improved accountability, and saved hours of tracking down what they own and where it is.
This is proven technology, and I urge you to ask about it.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well, try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Your home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas is Talk Radio WZZN.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Talk Radio WZZN, and this is The Point with Bill Crawford. And we are glad you are listening to us, however you may be. It's Election Day. You still got a lot of time. Go out there and vote. And today, we're going to talk about elections now. We're going to shift our focus to what we'd like to talk about on Tuesday afternoons, and that is in our Veterans Corner. And we have with us Jim King, a retired U.S. Navy senior Chief Petty Officer, not Petty Chief Officer. That would be totally wrong. And Jim is one of the senior leaders at Still Serving Veterans. Jim, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, Jim, thank you for popping in. You and I had a mutual friend, Casey Bertling, who was originally scheduled for this slot, but she had a medical emergency, so we'll keep her in our thoughts and prayers. And I appreciate you for just jumping in and helping us keep the Veterans Corner going today. So from just so you guys know what Jim King does, and this is just some open source information, is he is one of the senior leaders of Still Serving Veterans, which is an organization in town here founded by local veterans that helps veterans with many, many things. And some of the things Jim works on is career transition assistance, employment placement, education, employer partnerships, veteran advocacy and outreach, and many other things. I think Jim has described in a publication I found on the internet that he wants to have Still Serving Veteran become a place that is where veterans feel respected, heard, and ultimately secure as they go from military service to civilian life. Sound about right?
Sounds right, yeah. We also do veteran claims and benefits, and we also help veterans that are in a situation of financial crisis. So, yeah, we have a lot of great things that we do.
Well, I can attest to Still Serving Veterans because when I when I was a civilian in Birmingham, there were not a lot of veterans organizations there, and not a lot really except for the Veterans Administration, where you could outreach easily and get help or assistance if you were a veteran. I came here and somebody grabbed me by the stack and swivel and said, "Hey, you probably need to go have your records reviewed by still serving veterans." So I made an appointment. I went and saw one of your counselors, Rick Markeith. I think he's not there anymore, and completely revamped my look at my veterans benefits that I had available. And guess what? To our listeners, the cost was nothing. It was free. It's a service that is provided for veterans. And how does one start their entry into still serving veterans for any of their services, either education, help with benefits, or whatever the case may be?
So the easiest way is to go to our website, www.ssv.org. There's a tab for each of the programs that we offer. So whichever program a veteran is interested in, or multiple programs, they can fill out a very short form, just get some basic information, and then we reach out to them. And if, for example, if it's employment, we'll have a coordinator reach out, get to know them a little bit, and then we'll start working on whatever they need, a resume, job interview techniques, things like that. If it's claims and benefits, then we will send them the forms required to get started, which is a 2122 and an intent to file, and then we set up their first appointment.
Well, now let me ask you this. When you're helping some people with employment opportunities, do you actually have connections with local businesses that where y'all can kind of serve as a pipeline, or do you leave that up to the veteran themselves to, y'all help them with their resume and then, maybe steer them in the right direction, or do you actually have some direct contacts of people who are looking to hire veterans?
So in Huntsville, we do have direct contacts. We can funnel veterans into at least into job openings, with obviously no guarantee that they would get the job. But for the most part, if we send somebody that's qualified to a company that we have a partnership with, then they're going to get an interview. Now, with career and transition, we actually do that nationally, and so we do two things. One, we can funnel them into companies that we work with, but the other thing that we do is we have a job board. A job blast. We send it twice a week. It goes on Monday, and then it goes in again on Wednesday for the folks that didn't open it on Monday. And it's got listings of the hot jobs. It could be nationwide. A lot of the companies in Huntsville, they have offices in multiple locations. I'm thinking Colton, I'm thinking Northrop Grumman, and so we can certainly get them in, at least in the hands of the right talent acquisition or HR person, to get started.
Well, now, before we pull this thread a little bit further, I want to digress for 1 second, and I know you've done this before on the show, but other people may have new listeners that didn't hear that before. Tell us a little bit about your background in the Navy and how you came to Huntsville and how you became a part of this great organization known as Still Serving Veterans.
Sure. So I retired from the Navy in 2010. I went into the Navy in 1988 in advanced electronics. I was a submarine sonar technician. I did that for 6 years. For my first shore duty, I transitioned to recruiting duty. And one, fell in love with recruiting duty, and two, realized that I'm really good at it. So I transitioned to become a career recruiter, and I spent the next 16 years as a career recruiter. Retired in 2010, went to work in higher education. So I started out at Arizona State University, which is where I went to grad school. Then I transitioned to a nursing school called Chamberlain University. I was the national director of veteran affairs there. I did that for about 6 years, and then so my daughter moved to Huntsville to go to nursing school. We wanted to be closer to the grandkids, so my wife said, "I want to move to Huntsville." We moved to Huntsville in 2019, and I actually became a client of Still Serving Veterans. I didn't really want to go back into higher education. I wanted to do something different, but I wasn't sure what that was. So I go in, I started out as Still Serving Veterans as a career transition counselor. I did that for about 5 months, and then my predecessor, I was the chief programs officer. The previous chief programs officer retired, and so I put my name in the hat and was selected to go into the chief programs officer role. I was actually nominated for that by my manager when I was a career transition counselor and one of the other managers that was in the building. So, which I'm very proud of that they would do that for me. And then in January, I became the chief of staff. Our previous chief operations officer retired, and so I became the chief of staff. So I run the programs and I run the operations now.
Well, let me ask you a question. I think a lot of veterans, and I would dare almost say sort of myself included, when a military person gets out of the service, no matter what branch of the service they were in, I think they all kind of share sort of a little common bond. And that common bond is, hey, I've just did something really tough. I can do whatever it takes, and I can handle any job that comes along. So just hire me and I'll get it done. And I think that's a common attitude among ex-military, but they need a little more help in steering and guidance when they're looking for a job than just motivated, gung-ho, I can do anything. And you guys provide that kind of assistance, if I'm correct.
That is correct. So there's a figure out there that 41% of transitioning service members, when they transition out, they leave their first job within a year. If they follow our advice, that number goes down to about 15%. And we have a program called the 5 C's, and we show them the things that they need to look for. So that they need to look at the culture of an organization they want to join. They need to look at the content of the job and the context of the job. They need to look at the kind of colleagues that they're going to be working with, and they need to understand compensation. And military pay is very different than civilian pay. My first tax bill after the military was almost $8,000 because I didn't understand there's a difference. A lot of military taxes is tax free. Basic allowance for housing, basic allowance for sustenance, those are tax free. Well, nothing's tax free in the civilian world.
That's right. Well, let me add just a kind of a sidebar. Do you remember back in the long ago what your first month's pay was when you were in the military?
Oh gosh, I came in E2, and I think my first paycheck was your first paycheck in basic training they take out, for your uniforms. So I think my first check was $188.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I know when I graduated from West Point as a young, spanking second lieutenant, my first paycheck was $843. But you know what? I thought I was a rich man. But
absolutely, yeah. I get paid twice a month.
I get paid twice a month, but you are correct. A lot of military people just don't. They don't understand what happens when they become a civilian, and they say, "Oh my God, Uncle Sam wants a good hunk of the money I am making." So along with your 5C program, how do you take a soldier and let's just as a classic example, let's say an infantryman whose main skill was being able to close with and destroy the enemy in any means possible. How do you shape that into a civilian resume?
So even in infantry, if you've been in for 4 years or more, you're going to have been in leadership positions. And so what we do is we focus on those soft skills and other trade-related skills that they might have acquired while they were in the military. And we actually do a pretty good job at that. A lot of infantrymen come out and they think, well, all I can do is be a police officer. And yes, that is an option for you. But you can also, you can apply to be a firefighter. You can go into the trades. I've got a friend that owns an HVAC company. He was infantry. And so you got to pick something that you're going to enjoy. And as I say, if you love your job, you don't work a day in your life. And figure out what it is that you enjoy and study for it, get certified, and go for it.
Well, now, I think a lot of people in this town have a bit of a misconception because Huntsville is, quote, such a high-tech area. I think a lot of servicemen coming out say, well, I didn't do high-tech stuff, so what can I do here in Huntsville, Alabama? But I submit that is not the case. I submit when they go to an organization such as Still Serving Veterans, they can find that there are a lot of things that they can do. Would you not have agreed that that's a correct assessment?
I completely agree. And I I had that misconception myself when I moved to Huntsville, because as I said, I started out as a client, and I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I knew that Huntsville had a lot of government contractors, and I'd been out of the military for 10 years, and I was a recruiter. I didn't really want to do talent acquisition because it's not, as a military recruiter, it's not the same as talent acquisition. So I wanted to find something else. Now, fortunately, I was able to start at Still Serving Veterans, but I was thinking of going into an HR field. So I started studying to get HR certified because I was a recruiter. I qualified for that. So there are a lot of jobs in Huntsville that are not technical, and they just have to go find them, or come to us and let us help you find them.
Well, now, one other thing, Jim, just to shift gears just a little bit, and I know you guys help me out a lot with this, and that is helping veterans realize the many, many benefits that they have access to that they're probably not even aware of. Y'all certainly can advise soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Space Command, the whole gamut of the force on the stuff that they have eligible that they can access.
Sure. Education benefits is a big one. Alabama has a dependent scholarship program. If you joined in Alabama and you came back to Alabama, if a veteran is 100% disabled, there's Chapter 35 that their dependents. Hold on a second. But their dependents can go through and get an education. They've got the post 9/11 GI Bill if they signed up for, or if they haven't transferred that to their kids. Besides that, there's home loan benefits. Now, we don't get too much into it other than we do have some realtors that have brought brochures to us. And, we'll just say if you want a VA loan, give one of these realtors a call, and they can certainly help you out with that. And then thinking about end of life, there's also burial benefits. And so we have one person in particular who specializes in the last chapter, so to speak, and she helps family members get compensation if their family member died of a service-connected disability. So there's a lot out there that people would qualify for and may not even know about.
Well, I completely agree with you. And one thing you mentioned about the end of life chapter, there is a seminar that's on Thursday night about the new veteran cemetery that's coming to our area. Are you aware of that?
I am. Yes, absolutely. In fact, our Rich Landfield, our CEO, I believe, is attending that.
I will be attending that also. And for our listeners who don't know, there is a veteran cemetery that's coming here to the Huntsville area. And if you're a veteran, you are eligible. You have to have an honorable discharge or down to, I think, a discharge under general conditions. You can't be dishonorably discharged, but both yourself and your spouse, if I'm correct, are eligible for burial in that cemetery. And they provide the headstone, the plot, and everything. I think they even provide a flag at the burial service, and it's at no charge. So is there more to that than I'm aware of, or do you know?
No, you're absolutely correct. It is for the veteran and their spouse, and it's everything that you just said.
And hey, folks,
and it's moving fast. I mean, the commissioner came out, and so I'm a member of the North Alabama Veteran Fraternal Organization Coalition, and the commissioner came out about 1.5 to 2 years ago and talked to us and said they were in the planning stages. They were just looking for property, and they're already at the point they've got the property and they're starting to build. So I'm very excited about that.
Well, it's just one of those things that furthers the point to our many veterans in this town. And there are, I think I saw an estimate of 40,000 veterans in Huntsville. That may not be totally accurate, but this is a place that's good, a place where veterans should be. And it's also a place where it's good to have organizations such as Still Serving Veterans, where you can just walk in the door like I did a few years ago and say, hey, I have no idea what I'm eligible for. Help me out here. And you guys did, very much so. So what is the Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said that's exactly right. where there's so much that veterans need to know, and definitely take advantage of all the services that are out there for you. If you haven't filed for a disability claim, by all means file. You've earned it. The military service is not easy on people's body. You have knee injuries, back injuries, obviously Agent Orange and all the associated conditions associated with that. Come see us and let us work through and get you the benefits that you deserve.
Well, one thing I will mention on that, as an old helicopter pilot, the person we feared like Satan himself was the flight surgeon. We didn't want to go see the flight surgeon at all because we didn't want to get grounded. And I cracked up a helicopter, not bad, but cracked it up enough to injure my back and just kind of hid it for all the years I was flying. And then later on, went to Still Serving Veterans and filed for that and found out that it was, in fact, eligible for a disability claim. So all those years later, it came back to be a benefit. So we're about out of time. And firstly, thank you so much for coming on. I'm really appreciative of the fact you could jump in on short notice and tell people how they connect with Still Serving Veterans. If you're out there listening and you say, hey, I'm a veteran, I've never pursued any of this stuff, I'm going to go ahead and get the ball rolling.
Sure. Excuse me. So, first of all, we've moved. We are now at a new location at 430 Wind Drive. So we're close to Research Park. They can go to our website, www.ssv.org, or they can just walk in. And we if they walk in and they're looking for employment services, they'll get help right away. If they walk in looking for claims and benefits, then we'll get the appropriate paperwork done, and we'll send that and get that sent off and they set the first appointment.
Hey, Jim, one final question just popped in my mind. We have this great VA clinic out here in Huntsville, and a lot of people are intimidated about even enrolling in that process. Can you help people with that if they say, hey, I don't even know how to get into the VA system?
Yeah, we just tell them where it's at and tell them to go see. Actually, getting into the system is very easy. A copy of your DD-214 and your an ID. They'll give you a VA ID, and Huntsville is actually pretty good. Now, I initially signed up for VA coverage in Phoenix, and it was bad. I waited about 14 months for my first appointment, but Huntsville is so much better than that, and it's a beautiful clinic.
Oh yeah,
and they take great care of veterans. So I definitely encourage them to go check that out too.
Well, hey, folks, if you are a veteran and you hadn't started the process, Still Serving Veterans is one of the best places in the world where you can. And, Jim, we're going to let you go. Thank you so much for jumping in today. And we'll go ahead, Brian, and take a break and say goodbye to Jim King of Still Serving Veterans.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Bill Crawford here for the Regenesis Stem Cell Center, the place to go for golfers' elbow pain. Traditional treatments require significant time away from the golf course and often don't work. Dr. Charles Lee can treat golfers' elbow using platelet-rich plasma extracted from the patient's blood and get you back on the golf course after a 2-hour visit. Golfers' elbow can be permanently eliminated for a fixed price of $585. Golf season is here. Enjoy pain-free golf with just one visit to Regenesis.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the Valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
Baumhauer's Restaurant, legendary food and legendary fun. Whether you're craving the freshest seafood from Alabama's Gulf Coast, juicy chicken or char-grilled steaks seared to succulent at perfection, you're craving Baumhauer's Restaurant. Add to that a sports-themed atmosphere and HD flat screens every place you look. For a sneak peek at the menu, go to baumhauers.com. Legendary food, legendary fun. Baumhauer's Restaurant.
The ultimate golf experience is waiting for you at the Golfus. For a limited time, you can get an unlimited membership for only $99 a month. Hit balls on the range, play any of our 2,000 golf courses, have a graduation party, or host a corporate event. For all the details, go to thegolfus.com. We have 2 locations in Huntsville and a location soon coming to Hughes Road in Madison. That's thegolfus.com.
TLG's Next Level software team tackles your automation bottlenecks, saving our customers precious time and money.
This resource is unique to Huntsville and Birmingham, and I urge you to ask about it.
From the largest to the smallest companies, TLG is here for you.
TLG is doing the right thing for all aspects of your company.
Just ask anyone.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing, and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
Your Fox 54 update.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Maybe a quick passing shower. Otherwise, temperatures climbing into the lower 80s, dropping into the mid and upper 60s as we head into the overnight. A mostly to partly sunny sky as we head into your Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures once again climbing into the lower 80s. Some of us could see the mid 80s with another opportunity for a passing shower.
Your Fox 54 forecast. Only on Talk Radio WZZN.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Talk Radio WZZN. This is The Point with Bill Crawford, and our phone number is 256-382-0724. We'd love to have you give us a call and tell us what you think about anything we've talked about. Tell us what you think about the election, the candidates, those who are being voted on today. There are some very tight races that entered into this runoff, and there has been so much money spent on the campaign. Just as an example, I was informed that the Attorney General's race had over $10 million spent on that just to become the Attorney General. And if you've seen the ads, you probably would believe that. I was talking with somebody today, and I said, you know, really, that's a job that pays $200,000 a year. Is it really worth $10 million to get that job? Well, some people think it is, but I happen not to be one of those. But by the way, sometimes I forget to tell you what day it is, and today in this country is National Cherry Tart Day. And also one of the things I'm going to start on this show, I've started it this week, in fact, in honor of the 250th birthday of the great United States of America, is a little feature I'm calling On This Day in History. And on this day in American history, Geronimo was born. Geronimo was born on June 16th in 1829, and he lived to 1909. By the way, Geronimo's name, which this kind of surprised me, in his native Indian tongue, translates directly into the one who yawns. Oftentimes in some of my military history classes at West Point or political philosophy, I would have been known as the one who yawns. But Geronimo was a very fierce brave, a very fierce leader of the Apache people from 1850 to 1886. He carried out raids against the Mexicans, against U.S. military, against settlers who were living out there, and pretty much all in the southwestern territories of New Mexico and Arizona. Well, Geronimo was eventually captured, and he was actually exiled to the state of Florida, and he was promoted literally throughout the United States as one of the most famous Native American warriors, and was actually used in a lot of publicity. In 1898, he was exhibited at the Trans-Mississippi Exhibition in Omaha, Nebraska, and Theodore Roosevelt used him in his inauguration parade in 1905.
Wow.
Didn't know that, did you?
No, there's all sorts of stuff about Geronimo. You just gave me just like the elevator pitch on it earlier before we started. There is so much more there.
Well, there is a lot more there, and I'll tell you my little interaction with Geronimo. Geronimo was later returned. He asked Theodore Roosevelt for a pardon, and he said, nope, not going to pardon you. You did too many bad things. And they returned him to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, where Geronimo actually escaped from prison yet again, and he rode to an area on Fort Sill called Medicine Bluff. And at Medicine Bluff was where he made his indelible mark in the history of the United States, because the soldiers were in hot pursuit. He was on his horse. He jumped off with his horse on Medicine Bluff into the river down below. And as he was jumping, he turned around and looked at the soldiers very defiantly and yelled, "Geronimo!" And he landed in the water. He and his horse swam away, and they eventually caught him later on. But what happened because of that jump is
That's why we yell Geronimo when we jump.
That is why we yell Geronimo when we jump. It started with the airborne in World War II. When they jumped, they would yell Geronimo. Now little kids, people all over the country who have no idea what Geronimo is, they yell Geronimo when he jumps.
I am far from being a little kid, and I just now found that out today.
Well, the way I really found it out, Brian, was one time when I was a lieutenant and I was stationed at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. I actually took a person on a picnic out to Medicine Bluff, which is a very scenic area. And right there where it happened, those historical markers, they have one right there. And what it says is Geronimo jumped here. And it tells the story. It tells the little story I have told. So
I would have thought maybe you were asking some questions, because you are a person who has jumped out of a perfectly good airplane.
I jumped out of a perfectly good airplane. And when I did that, I went through airborne school as a commissioned officer with a bunch of enlisted soldiers. And so what that meant was I was the first one out of the plane.
Do they give you a shove?
Yes, they do. When you're the first one out of the plane, you stand there, they say, with your knees in the breeze, and you're looking down at the earth going by, and you see the lights, just like in the movies, red, yellow, green, go, go, go. And they said go, and I kind of hesitated for a half a second, and I felt the foot in my posterior, and I was out of the plane.
And then you were out of the door,
Out of the door, about 1,800 feet up. It's a very short trip to the ground, but and I did not yell Geronimo. I think I was praying. But the most unique thing about a jump like that, when you're not used to doing it, the weirdest sensation is you don't feel like you're falling towards the ground. You feel like the ground is coming up to meet you.
Well, you are the point of reference.
I am the point of reference. I did 5 jumps in airborne school. I used to say they were all night jumps because my eyes were tightly closed for at least the first second out of the aircraft. And no more jumping for me. I'm through. I'm never going to say Geronimo unless I'm doing a cannonball off the diving board. So
well, I know that if I ever jumped out of an airplane, the first thing I do when I get on the ground is laundry.
Yeah, you probably...
Because I probably will need to wash my shorts.
Probably need to wash your shorts.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the Valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
This is Bill Crawford, host of The Point on Talk Radio WZZN. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Now is your last chance to pay what we paid during the final days of employee pricing at Lynn Layton Ford in Decatur. I'm Bobby White, encouraging you to hurry in and lock in the same deal that our employees get on over 280 available new Fords. New Bronco Sport started under $28,000. New 25 Broncos starting at under $39,000. Or how about a new 26 Explorer starting at under $36,880? Or 26 F-150 Crew Cab 4x4s, they start at under $44,500. And with your good credit, you can get financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months on a brand new Mach-E. Remember, Lynn Layton Ford will never make you pay any dealer dock fees or ridiculous upcharges. This is an opportunity you can't afford to miss. You pay what we paid during the final days of employee pricing at Lynn Layton Ford, in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or visit us online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693.
For over 50 years, our mission, do the right thing and make long-term decisions. We value our customers, and we invest in supporting them.
TLG is consistently adding services to our own technologies to automate and provide the best support possible to you.
We have the strongest guarantees in the industry. You can't just tell people you're going to provide good support. You have to prove it with your actions.
Your home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas is Talk Radio WZZN.
And I'm still hoping, waiting, praying I did not die in vain.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time to wrap up another episode of The Point with Bill Crawford and producer Brian Temple. We are glad you joined us today. You still have time to get out there and vote if you want to. The polls close at 7 o'clock, and I dare say by 8:30, we will know who the winners are. Please feel free to join us tomorrow. We'd love to have you, as is our wont on Wednesday. We will have Skip Vaughn first up to talk about the Redstone Rocket and what's happening out there. In our second hour, we're going to be joined by State Representative James Lomax to help us break down the election results. And also, Brian, I don't even think I've mentioned this yet, but at 3:35, we're going to have a early version of Eyes on Washington with Seth. Seth Burton's going to call us.
Fantastic. It's always a good day when we get Seth.
It's always a good day when we get Seth, and it's going to be an even better day for me today because I'm going to leave here and head out to see the old Trash Pandas game.
Fantastic.
Great day to watch a baseball game. I'm looking forward to that.
And it's Hawaiian shirt night. You should have a new wardrobe when you get back tomorrow.
If they got one that'll fit me.
Well, I'm sure they will.
Well,
if they're free, get me one too.
All right, if they're free, I'll see if I can get you one too. XL, I would assume. And folks, keep our service members in your thoughts and prayers. Do good things and vote if you hadn't. This is Bill Crawford. I'm out.
This is Talk Radio, WCZN.
Favorite jeans, favorite shirt. I can make a sausage and I'm firing it up. Yeah, everybody knows that's how I get my grill